Are we safer today? Are we less safe?
Well, unfortunately, when it comes to the nature of the threat, we're in much more serious circumstances today than we were after 9/11. Remember, back then we thought about Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan and Pakistan and a few other places. Well, we've seen Al-Qaeda has metastasized. It's now a global scourge. Then you have the ascendancy of ISIL. The combination of those two groups, their appeal to the lone wolves, and we've seen them acting in Belgium and in France and in Canada and the United States. So the threat vectors and the nature of the threats are far more complicated and far more serious today than on September 12, 2001.
Mike Rogers, that's a remarkable and alarming statement. What do we do about it?
Well, first of all, you have to get after the safe havens. So think about two problems. We have some 20 Al-Qaeda affiliates, some of them relatively new, some old. They just opened up one in India. So these are all new threat vectors that we have to put in that threat matrix. And they have big swaths of ungoverned space of which they've claimed to retrain, recruit, and plan operations.
Libya, Yemen.
And getting worse. And you have ISIL, who has all of eastern Syria, a good chunk of Iraq, and candidly, very little disruption activity to their operations. So they have this global reach with social media that we never saw before, including 2001, that is having an impact. And what you saw happen in the United States, that is exactly the plan that they had for terrorist activities in Western countries.
Let me ask you, though, you say you have to go after the safe havens. You know, there's already a significant U.S. military operation in Iraq. You have training of moderate rebels in Syria. Are you talking about U.S. military action in a place such as Libya? I mean, there's limited strikes in Somalia and Yemen, but are you talking about military intervention in these places necessary?
We don't need boots on the ground unless this thing continues to spill over. The longer it goes, the higher risk it is that the United States will have to interfere unless you're willing to accept what we had happen in Texas. Now, fortunately, it was not successful. I would argue, if you think about this, there is an investigation against ISIS possibilities in all 56 offices of the FBI. At what point does this boil to the point where we decide we're going to have to be serious about stopping the fact that the people who are getting self-recruited in the United States believe that ISIL is winning in the Middle East? Because that's the message they're receiving on social media. Despite this notion that there's this large-scale effort, it really isn't very accurate, which is what we can help with that. The intelligence isn't great. We can help a lot with that. And we will need some special capability soldier involvement if we're going to make sure that our allies are more impactful. All of that can happen without boots on the ground.
Governor Ridge, in the case of the Texas shooting, Alton Simpson, the main gunman, he was on the FBI radar screen. They had an informant speaking to him, as Senator Johnson said a few moments ago, 330 times. So they were already looking at him in a way that they might be looking at other potential sympathizers. Was that a major law enforcement failure? And do you have confidence that the FBI has the resources to take a harder look at the hundreds, perhaps thousands of others who may or may not go that way?
Yeah, there are two very important questions here, and I think you raised them very effectively. One, this individual was given probation by a judge in spite of perjury, in spite of lying, but we had our eyes on him. But at what point in time in a democracy do we say we are so fearful, you are so suspect, we are very, very concerned, but we don't quite have the ability to take you off the street? That is something that we're going to have to figure out as we go
legally
and deal with this. Well, we better start thinking about it now, and I think it's in a democracy, it's a lot more complicated than people think. Does the FBI have the resources? No, they don't, but I'm not sure that necessarily means we're going to double or triple the number of people in the FBI. You know, one of the challenges I think we've had since 2001 is integrating the knowledge and the capabilities that the FBI has and blend them with the state and local police, with the local law enforcement agencies. And there's always been some institutional reluctance. There's an inertia to do that. Pardon me?
This was supposed to be corrected after the 9/11 Commission, this kind of intelligence sharing and information.
Listen, I think the intelligence sharing is good. It's not exactly where it needs to be. I mean, the fact of the matter remains is that I talked to Commissioner Ed Davis in Boston, and he was aware of the Sarnoff brothers after the bombs went off. And now I'm not saying that the FBI should have advised him then, but one wonders. Actually, I am saying, what happens if you, in advance of that incident, advise the commissioner of these 2 suspected terrorists. It's not like Russia picks up the phone every day and calls us and says, look, we think you got some terrorists in your midst. How are the wife and kids?
Right.
That doesn't happen very often.
It was a warning, yeah.
And so I think the burden on the FBI is just too enormous. It's too great. They cannot do it by themselves. And I think hopefully under Jim Comey and these terrorism task forces, but they begin to even share more information and then call upon the state and locals to do some of the legwork, to keep their eyes on some of these folks.
Mike, you have a background in the FBI. I wonder, do we raise the expectation unrealistically that U.S. law enforcement can stop every attack like this? It's easy to carry out you don't need 19 hijackers in flight school to carry out a lone wolf attack like this. You just need to buy a couple guns, right? Walk as these gentlemen did, or any other target. Is it unrealistic to tell Americans that we can keep you safe 100% of the time from this kind of threat?
Anybody that tells you that they can keep America safe 100% of the time is not telling the truth. Absolutely. Or doesn't understand what they're talking about.
Right.
Spot on.
They are at their limit. And what we find even in our foreign intelligence service friends and their domestic law enforcement national agencies, Britain, others, they are at water's edge right now. They can't keep up with the volume, which is, again, why the strategy can't be, if you treat this as a law enforcement issue that you're going to deal with, we are going to lose. We are going to lose badly. If we treat it for going after a group that has declared war against the United States in a way that doesn't put troops on the ground, which we can, I think we'll have a much more successful effort at stopping violence here at home. Without it, you cannot take those 2 things apart and expect success. I think the FBI is doing as best as they can. There's the recent appeals court decision is probably going to make it more difficult. We've taken one more tool off the table for them to use to try to track people, folks in Syria calling back into the United States. The more we make this more difficult, the higher likelihood it is we're going to have an event that we're all going to be sorry for.
Governor Ridge, you recently celebrated great moments of civility in American history. Washington political scene, not particularly civil today. I wonder if this issue, counter-terror, fighting extremism, giving law enforcement the tools they need to do so, is that an issue that could bring people together, bring people to the table in a more cooperative, bipartisan way?
Well, I want to thank you. Yeah, we did celebrate civility. Allegheny College in Western Pennsylvania celebrated Police Chief Kevin Murphy giving his badge to John Lewis in reconciliation in 2013 after the beating that John Lewis took in Montgomery, Alabama. A very powerful notion, and it's a notion that I think we need to understand. There are causes and issues that are bigger than either party, and if we can't rally behind our intelligence community, the law enforcement community, and don't get me wrong, I don't think the FBI can do it. I know they go to work hard every single day to try to keep us safer and secure. I don't want my remarks to be misinterpreted, but they can't do it alone, and we really need to integrate their capability along with the dedicated professionals we have at the local level. That's what kind of drove the company. Listen, this is a global scourge, and we're going to be at this for a long time. And we need the Congress of the United States in between now and the end of the year to deal with that opinion that we got with regard to Section 215 of the Patriot Act. It would be irresponsible to eliminate that, but I think the court gave us a very good pathway. You need to connect the information you seek with a specific request, and I think it would pass muster, but then we're going to have to deal with First and Fourth Amendment challenges as well.